All right, good evening, everyone. It is 10:29 p.m. Central Standard Time. My name is Chris Salora, founder of Simple Renko Trading. If you guys were tuning into the live stream tonight, I was having a lot of technical difficulties. I've been using TradingView's desktop app. I'm on a laptop, but I've been using the desktop app. It's in beta. I don't think it's I don't know if the streams are really coming through very well on there. I might have to switch back to the browser to do that. But yeah, it was not working out, so I had to cancel. I had to cut off the stream prematurely. It was not working out. Stuff was really choppy. Quality was not very good. So I apologize if you were in there. Anyway, so here's just a quick market update. And what I want to do here, you guys, is I don't want to be too enthusiastic. I don't want to sound too bearish. I'm really just on here trying to give you an honest picture of what's going on right now, and what what we should expect in the near future. Okay. So starting from the top, we're going to go through the whole analysis here. Starting from the top, daily Renkos looking pretty bullish. I mean, let's see, we have one, two, three. These three bricks, well, we put in this red brick down here on the 21st, and then we had on the 25th, the 27th, and then just yesterday, the 28th, we put in three green bricks. That's a very bullish move. I mean, you can clearly see this on the candles. That's what we know. But these Renkos take a lot of the choppiness out that you get, a lot of the wicks and the tails that you get on the candles, takes all that out, gives you just a clear-cut picture of where the price is headed, and price is heading up right now. Okay, so very clear on the daily Renkos. The 4 hours doing the same thing. Price, as you guys can see, is at a critical level right now. Price is at just a crucial level, which is why on the candles you'll see it's very sideways, very ugly. Just things are looking a little weird. Okay, you can see that this high and the sell-off that came from there, this is a crucial area right here. Okay, so Bitcoin really making a nice push, but we're really gonna have to see who you know what kind of power we get up at this level to see if we can push higher. Okay, so we're just gonna have to see. The 1 hour Renkos, again, you can see this high is it's still just barely holding this market down. Okay, it's barely holding this market down. I do think that the bulls have what it takes to push it through further, but I want to point you to this area over here. Do you see this cluster of bricks right here? And then the subsequent sell-off from there? Within this general area, within this range here, and we're not there yet, but within that range, we should see some kind of a bearish reaction. Okay, price just kind of chopped around here. We'll see this on the candles too in just a sec, but price just kind of chopped around in here and then sold off pretty hard from there. So just expect that by the time price gets up to this area, um, we should see some kind of a bearish reaction in the price. Now, finally getting over to the candles, there's a couple things here, a couple of interesting things here. You can see now the first thing here is this money flow. This money flow is getting very close to that 90 level, and on these higher time frame charts like the daily chart, this is a big deal. Okay, just look, you guys, at every time we've gotten up to that level and that level before, and then look at what the price has done. So you can see up here, we're pretty much at the same values that we were at, and then there is a sell-off there. Again, we were trading up here Okay, this high corresponds with this high, and you can see a nice sell-off. Okay, now here is the all-time high. Here is the all-time high. Now that all-time high, interestingly enough, the chart was giving us some bearish divergence. The MFI printed lower. Okay, so price made a higher high here, but you can see this MFI price made a lower high there. That is what's called bearish divergence. Okay, the market makes a second high, but the indicator does not print that same high. It does not show that same strength. That's bearish divergence. And then, I mean, just look at the sell-off that we got, this initial sell-off, but then that extended all the way to the big one. That's, just, I mean, you can wick off, whatever you want to call it. In my book, it was just bound to play out, this wick off distribution or whatever. I mean, I just saw bearish divergence and got ready for a pretty deep correction when I saw that. So once we were trading at this high up here, I was already assuming that some significant correction would come. When this one came, I was like, oh, well, that was expected. Then we got a recovery, ascending wedge, and then boom, it was just say goodnight. So anyway, so going back to where we're at now, you can see that MFI getting quite high. Okay, that 90 level, the makers of this money flow index called the 90 level and the 10 level. You can see the upper and the lower bound here. These were areas where the price should correct. Okay, for the makers of this, indicator said that. So getting to the extremes here. So while there's a lot of optimism, you guys, peak optimism is always sold. Okay, when optimism is super, 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 super high, everybody's talking about everybody's talking positively about cryptos, which is really what's going on right now. Be careful, because that could mean that we're getting closer to a place where we're going to turn around. Now, when we just look at the price, okay, now we're looking at just supply and demand levels. I want to point you to this level here. If you guys have been following, I've probably highlighted this in several videos already, but this level right here, okay, this level right here, it gives me pause. Okay, so as you can see, we sold off very nicely from that level. This was the day that we dropped down to this pretty significant low, on that massive sell-off back in the middle of May. It's the range of the day just before it. You can see that price just kind of paused right here. Price just kind of paused within this range up here. And so what I'm going to say is that when price gets back up into this range, we should see a bearish reaction. This could be a bull trap, is what I'm getting at. Okay, bulls will just push, 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 only to be met by bears who are going to drive the price down. So just use caution. Okay, the indicators are indicating to you that things are getting a little bit too hot. The averages, if you want to talk about the averages now, you can see they're very overextended. You can see that whole average holding way above the McKinley, and everything likes to return to the mean. Averages love returning to their mean. So this orange McKinley average, this is the mean. This is the fair value average. This is the one. And you can see this hull, which hugs close to the price. This is kind of a reflection of, the last 10 periods of the price. You can see it's way overextended, and it just wants to get back to that mean average. Okay. So that's what I see in the averages. Now, if you are still like I do believe that the bulls have one more push in them, and it's primarily because of what I see going on this 4-hour chart. So as you can see here, now we still have the hull holding above the McKinley here on the 4-hour chart. There's still a bit of distance here, which is actually good. You can see that the trend, just the angle, if you look at just the angle of this McKinley average, it is still positive. It's still angled upward. Okay, that's good. We'll have to see. Is it gonna? I mean, if we continue to print candles just straight across here, this will flatten out because it will be the average of those candles. But if we see another push up overnight or sometime tomorrow into this area where we expect those sellers to be, if we see that push up, this will continue to be angled up. Okay, but this does indicate that there might be another push out of these bulls. I have my eyes on this area here. Got my eyes down there. See, maybe price just wants to kind of jump down, cool off a little bit, and then give us that lift up into that area where we expect those sellers to be. We don't know what's going to happen. We can just, we can only speculate at this point. But looking at the 4-hour, I am a little bit more optimistic for just another last push to the upside. So we'll see if we can break out of here. Okay. And just taking a quick look at some of the other alts, really encouraging price action here. I mean, Ethereum just making a run for it. Ethereum, as you can see, talking about the distance of those averages, you can see that this was pretty healthy here. We converged, didn't quite get there, converged and rallied, and then again another healthy sign, kind of converged, and now we rallied. This looks a little bit more intact. We'll just have to see if Ethereum has what it takes to keep going. We do have bearish divergence though. You can see this high here. You can see this high here, and the MFI not following through on that high. So use caution with this one, okay? But still looking intact, and a little more encouraging. Cardano again. If you're looking at one, this actually looks even more encouraging than Ethereum. You can see here, averages converged, moved away, averages converged, moved away, looking pretty positive. Now here on Cardano, we have not yet made that higher high up here. Price is still down here, so pretty encouraging on Cardano. Let's see what kind of rally we might see in price on Cardano. So that's looking good for Cardano. XRP, probably the most bullish of the ones that I'm following now. Actually, you can see that we're in this area where I expected some sellers, and we are reacting to that area so far. I think it'll probably get broken, but who knows? Another one though, be careful here. You've got a high, and you've got a higher high. Yet this MFI is slightly angled down. Okay. Actually, let's take this one here. You can see that that is angled down. MFI is not following through with that higher high. So use caution on this one too. Link, yep, looking pretty good. Link looking pretty good. There is bearish divergence on this as well, so do use caution. But looking pretty decent. Looking pretty decent here. You can see the averages are converging. Nice rally up. But again, that bearish divergence does give me a little bit of pause. So here is a high. Here is a higher high. And the corresponding, I guess the corresponding highs here, you can see that that is not following through. So those buyers are definitely getting a little bit weaker as we're approaching an area. If you look at this area here, as we are approaching this area here, where we might just find some sellers. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. Only time will tell. Dot, I mean, you guys, a lot of the same patterns here. It's kind of redundant, but you've got a high, you've got a higher high, and lower highs there. So things look bullish, but just use caution because these indicators are not showing you that same follow through. Okay, except on some. I mean Cardano. Again, you can see that Cardano has not yet made that higher high. So Cardano might still have some room to run, and also Doge, which we just were at here. It's its price is moving in this range, but it's still lower. It hasn't quite yet made that new high, so it might still have a little bit of room to run up before it sells off if that's what it wants to do. Okay, so that's really it. Yeah, we're looking okay. I do think the bulls have another little push in them, but just be careful, you guys. I know that there's a lot of people speaking very positively about Bitcoin right now, like heading to the moon again, and who knows? I mean, who really knows? I can tell you though that we're a little bit overbought on the MFI. We are approaching an area where I would expect to find some sellers. So let's just take what we can get and use caution. Take your profits when they're there. Don't expect too much out of the market, and don't get burned. So that's what I'm seeing. Thank you for listening to the video. Thank you for following. Again, sorry if you were on the live stream. I had to cut it off early. It was not going well technically. But yeah, that's what I got for you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.